Hello, welcome to the Wool and Thyme channel. My name is Sam and this is my channel, and I don't have like an intro down yet since I changed my name. I don't know what to say. Yeah, you can find me around the internet at Wool and Thyme. Mostly on Instagram, but also on some other various platforms that I may or may not update ever. Yeah, so today is the February monthly makes. I did have every intention of releasing videos before now this month, but I did finish my master's degree at the beginning of the month. My technical graduation date is February 11th. I technically submitted my last thing on the 7th, but I've also just kind of been like unwinding from that. I did like film one video that I didn't super duper like. I'm letting my wife borrow my laptop because her laptop completely crapped out on her, so I don't have as much time to edit. So it might be a little bit before I start like releasing more regular videos, but I have so many ideas and I want to make videos. We'll see. Maybe I'll start filming them. Maybe I don't know. Anything could happen. Regardless, I have an abundance of free time again, which I'm not like super used to having. You know, like before the pandemic, we were doing a lot of stuff, and then the pandemic happened and we were home all the time doing lots of crafts, which was fine. And then I was like, I need something more productive to do, so I got my master's degree, but now my wife is in school too, so now I'm like by myself and I have to entertain myself. I'm like, what even is that? Entertaining yourself as an adult. But anyway, so this month has been a bit of an adjustment, getting used to being done with school and not having anything that I specifically have to do. And I have a new job that's like super chill, so I'm under a lot less stress than I used to. I don't know what to do with myself anymore, so I've done a lot of crafts. I've watched a lot of movies. I'm gonna get back, excuse me. I'm gonna get back into playing video games again. I have many ideas of things that I would like to do. I just need to do them. Sign up for the garden. I got my little garden packet, so sometime probably in the next month and a half that should open, and then I'll be, you know, outside a lot planting plants and growing food and flowers and beautiful plants. But yeah, so I still have all these like crafting goals for the year, so I'm gonna go over them today. I actually didn't take any notes today, so if I'm like, for most of it, it's because I'm trying to remember things. But there's just so many things I want to talk about that it just felt like it would take too long to take the notes, and they probably wouldn't help me that much because I'd be staring, squinting at my terrible handwriting, trying to figure out what the hell I was talking about. So yeah, so let's just get into FOs, things that I finished in the month. I think you will find as time goes on that I'm probably going to be doing some more experimentation with other mediums. So like, for example, today I have some watercolors to show you. I'm trying to kind of expand my horizons a bit with the like different types of art that I've always wanted to try, and I never really like tried them. Because while I have plenty of like knitting, crochet, spinning, all of that I can do, and like cross stitch or whatever, I still have all these things that I've wanted to try, and I want to give space and like actually get to try them. So yes, look forward to seeing more of that stuff. But I'm gonna start out with my paintings. So I've always really been into the idea of doing watercolors, but I never really knew where to start. I find it super intimidating to like try to figure out what colors to pick out and like what to even paint. I haven't really ever been super into like painting or anything like that. It's just a completely different way to work your mind, and my mind has never easily slid down that hill. I don't know what kind of analogy I'm trying to make there, but I think you understand what I mean. It's just not something that has come super naturally to me, but it doesn't mean that it's not something that I want to try. When I was scrolling through TikTok recently, which I am wont to do, I did find this artist. Her store is called Bergette Pigments, and she does these like coloring pages. So I finished 2 of them this month. This one is Snack Kitties, And then this one is like a skull, and like the background is like this copper color paint. And it's really cool the way that they come, so you don't have to like have your own paints or anything. You get little color cards. So like there's the little sample color cards from each one. And then each paint is like a sample size, like really nice watercolor paint, and they come on these little cards. It's like a little dollop of watercolor paint. So I have a ton of those little things, and there's plenty, like there's leftovers, so I'm kind of just keeping them all in a little basket so that as I hopefully get a little bit better with watercolors, I can come back to them and reuse some of these colors in stuff that I want to do. I have 2 other ones that I purchased that I'm going to work on next, but I definitely think I'm going to get more of these. Yeah, I just think it's a really cool deal being able to get to like try out all these really cool colors of like really nice paints, and not have to like think about what the subject is or think about like what color scheme I want to do. It's just like a good little intro. She has videos showing like a time lapse of the paintings, so what you can like kind of learn from what she does. And then I also just like use the reference image from the Etsy listing so that I could kind of see like what she did, and I kind of based it off that. So yeah, that's been really cool. Like, look how pretty that is. I used some like shading and stuff, and I'm kind of learning about how to properly use watercolors. So between that, and then I resubscribed to Skillshare, and I'm hoping that I can find some like watercolor based classes on there so that I can learn about like different techniques and stuff. But yeah, I'm like really excited that I finally got into watercolors. I have a desk setup now because I work from home. I am permanently working from home. I kind of reconfigured my setup. I got myself a nice new bigger screen that's not the company supplied one, which apparently I can get a bigger one through the company now because I have a more like quote-unquote artsy job. But anyway, I got my own screen, and I can flip between my work laptop and my own personal laptop, so I can have a second screen for like art-based stuff, or if I'm playing video games, things like that. And yeah, it's been really cool because I can like set up my little paint setup and like watch YouTube and also have my reference image on the other side, and just kind of like I feel like I've more evolved in the past few months and made this space both a work and creative space, especially because my job is more creative. Like, it just feels more right. So I'm looking to continue evolving this space so that it's more usable. I definitely have bins of things that need to be gone through, and I'm still continuing to like work through all of these art supplies that I have so that I can kind of condense stuff more into my little storage cabinets, because I do have like piles of scraps on the floor and stuff. So yeah, that was a little bit of a ramble, but having a designated art space that is really convertible for different types of art has been really, really satisfying and really good for my creativity. I have been having like a creative boom recently where I'm just like making stuff constantly and so much less stressed about the thing that I'm making, and I'm just kind of riding that wave. I'm really enjoying it. I feel so good. Anyway, painting, watercolor painting, more to come on that. Next, I just finished this yesterday. So Target sometimes has little kits in their like dollar spot section where, you know, you can get all the little doodads really cheap, and I am really guilty. I live really close to a Target, like within walking distance from a Target. I don't walk there, but I could if I wanted to. Maybe I should, because it will keep me from buying so much stuff, but I'm really guilty of going into that dollar spot and just buying like a bunch of stuff from it. But recently they have had little kits. This cracks me up because I feel like generally when I try things, I feel pretty satisfied with like my first go at things, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, and I feel like this one didn't work out, and that's why I wanted to show it, because I just think it's super, super funny. So I've always wanted to try punch needle, and it's just, it's fairly expensive to get the materials for it, and I'm trying to not spend so much money on craft supplies and cut back on it, but I saw these and it was like $5 each for these little punch needle kits, so I got them. And this is my first try, and I know it doesn't probably look that bad on the camera, but like the loops are all over the place. It's kind of a disaster. It doesn't look like the picture. I don't know, man. I just laugh looking at it. Also, I like destroyed my finger. I stabbed it. You probably can't see it. I stabbed it so many times trying to do this. So I have one more of these kits, but I don't think punch needle is for me. I'm just not good at it, and it's okay. I do so many other crafts. I don't need to be good at all of them. I'm glad I tried though. It was a fun thing to try. I'm not coordinated enough. I stab my fingers enough while I cross stitch. I think this is a craft for people other than me. So I have a couple cross stitch things that I finished this month and then actually like finished off. So one of them, I finally finished my Halloween cross stitch. I can't remember if I finished this last month or the very, very beginning of this month. Hello? Hello, ma'am? Do you want to come say hello? This is Kona. She's my beautiful baby. Hi, baby. Anyway, so my Halloween cross stitch. I can't remember if I finished this at the end of last month or the beginning of this month, but I did pop it into a frame. I very, very quickly shoved it in and pinned the corners because I'm just going to hang this up on the wall. Yeah, that's my Halloween cross stitch from last year that I didn't finish until this year. Everything's fine. Yeah, I forgot. This is by Stitchonomy. You can do these for free. You don't have to pay, but she does kits for them. I think she just announced the spring one recently. I don't know what the theme was. I didn't read the email, but yeah, she periodically does these. You just sign up for the email and you get all the little individual things. You can join her pattern club to get them early or whatever, but you don't need to. You can totally do them for free. And she also sells kits that you can get, like, for example, in this one, there's like little charms. So if you get the kit, you can get like the little charms and stuff. I basically just bought the charm pack, and then there was a bat-shaped thread organizer that I got. So that was pretty cool. So, but yeah, it's free if you just want to do the stitch alongs. They're pretty cute. And then my other thing that I finished, this is Junebug and Darlin's Maker Kit. I bought this kit a while ago and I finished it a while ago, and it's just been sitting on my desk. But between that and like I had a huge pile of mending that I needed to do, I was like, I need to like finish things this month. I want to keep cleaning this area out progressively. So part of that is actually finishing the things that I started. So this was one of them. I finished this yesterday as well, and I can't wait to hang it on my little cross stitch wall of fame along with the Halloween cross stitch. I love this kit. I really want to get the maker kit too. Or not the maker kit. I really want to get the knitter one too. I just love how colorful her beautiful floral things are. There's one that says like fuck this shit. There's one that says like radical feminist. She has a lot of like queer based things. So yeah, recommend. They're fun. So for my spinning for the month, I'm trying to spin at least one thing a month so I can maintain the noise of my fiber stash too, because I keep buying more fiber because it's so pretty. And then I wasn't spinning it. I didn't spin that much last year. But yeah, so I spun this. This I got from Sultan's D-stash a while ago, and it was just like little wool bumps that were in a bunch of different colors, and I thought it was perfect for Valentine's Day because it's like pinky purples and stuff. And since I didn't take notes, I don't remember how many yards I got, but it was I think it was like 200 some yards that I got out of it. It's a pretty big floof of yarn. My cat's yelling at me again, probably because I'm not giving her attention. Yeah, pretty big floof of yarn. My typical thing, I do a chain ply on pretty much everything. I'm not super good at spinning consistently yet, or thin at all, so it's not super thin. This is probably like mostly worsted weight, but it's not consistent enough to like really fully say that. But I don't care. It's beautiful. It's fun. I need suggestions for what to knit with hand spun yarn, because fully half, no, I guess because I have yarn in other places, so probably like a third of my yarn stash is hand spun yarn, and I'm just like afraid to use it because it's so pretty and I spent so much time on it. But like what's the point of just spinning it and keeping it in a cabinet? I want to use it. So if anyone has recommendations for patterns to use all of my beautiful hand spun yarn in, I am open to suggestions, because the only things I have come up with are like baby knits, but I'm like, I don't want to waste my hand spun yarn on babies. They can't appreciate it. I want to make stuff for myself. Although I also do tend to spin yarn that's like colors that I wouldn't wear. Like, this isn't colors that I would wear. I don't know. I want to do something with my hand spun yarn. Next is a hat. So this is the Midas Hat. I don't remember who it's by. I use Purl Scout yarns in Forest Spirit. Yeah, it's nice. This is my first time doing a like folded brim, so it's thick and large. It goes this far. So you do like a provisional cast on and then pick it back up when you're here before you start knitting for the rest of the hat. I'm just kind of like, look at my hat. But yeah, you pick it up, fold it in half, pick it up, and then you knit the rest of it with that, yeah, folded brim. Yeah, I got this yarn from Purl Scout Yarns. We did a little traderoo because I had an extra Game Boy Advance SP, and they wanted a Game Boy Advance, and I got yarn and a project bag, which I'm actually using right now. In exchange, look at this, it has little kitties on it. They're little grumpy gray kitties, like my grumpy gray kitty. Anyway, excellent exchange. I love trading things. Yeah, fun stuff. Socks of the month. Also trying to do one pair of socks each month this year. This month I went a little crazy and did Frankensocks. I used the Sprocket Socks pattern by Pip and Pin, and my Frankensocks kit, it was like a natural history Frankensocks kit by Havirland. Yeah, they're super fun. Look how cool they are. I am admittedly not super great at keeping consistent tension when I'm knitting color work, and I'm still working on it, and I've definitely done better than this. These are a little lumpy and bumpy, and that's okay because they're gonna go on my feet and keep my feet super warm, so I don't even care. And they're super fun colors, and I love them. And so the rest of the yarn that I have from this, I have in a little baggie, and it's going into my Northeasterly, which I will show you my progress on in just a moment. But yeah, so the main body was all but like one of the colors from this Havirland Frankensocks kit, and then the heel was like Comma Chameleon Yarn Co. I don't remember what the color was, but it was something that I had gotten in a little swap, so that was kind of like the perfect little speckly bits. The one sock, this one in the front, I ran out of yarn, but then I found another color that sort of matched, so can't even tell unless I show you. Yeah, and I'm using my Knitting Left sock blockers that have little bicycles on them because they're super cute. Yeah, so those are fun socks to knit this month. They were definitely a little more involved than the socks that I normally knit, because I do tend to knit a lot of plain vanilla socks or things in like easier patterns because I'm lazy and I like to have a little lazy pattern for a while, but these were fun. They were still pretty easy, and it was like easy to memorize the pattern. It's not like you had to keep it open a lot. It's just more involved. And then I had to think about tension a lot. I guess my last FO is my skirt, which is my clothing item of the month. So as I talked about before, I'm kind of trying to revitalize my wardrobe since I'm turning 30 this year. Not really, I don't care that I'm turning 30. But I was a little bit like, hey, I need to like figure out my clothing nonsense, because I feel like I want to have a personal sense of style again, which I haven't had for a while, and part of that is I want to make more of my own clothes and get better at sewing and learn new techniques. And boy, did I go through some new techniques this month. So the pattern I picked is the Estuary skirt, right? I have the pattern right here. The Estuary skirt by So Liberated. I did the patch pockets, and I did a real button placket, and I kind of wish I hadn't, and I'm going to go over that in a second. So here it is. It's in this like wine-colored linen. It's kind of like purpley wine-colored linen, and then there's just some like buttons down the front and some nice working pockets. So there's a couple problems with this skirt. One, I did a real button placket in the front, and I'm not good at doing buttonholes, and I've learned that I don't really care that much about having button-down things, so I'm probably going to, I want to make this skirt again, because I do like the style of the skirt. I like the length that it turned out. I just really don't like the crappy buttonholes that I made, so if I make this again, I'm going to do it with the fake button placket so that I don't have to worry about making buttonholes. I can just toss my buttons on the front, it'll look cute, nobody will know. But so, since I'm not super good at buttons, this part right here gaps, but since I'm never going to unbutton the skirt, as I have also discovered, I'm just going to sew it down so that it doesn't pop open. My other problem that I ran into is that I didn't measure myself before I made this, because I hadn't really had to worry about my waist measurement that much recently, and I just assumed it was the same, and it wasn't. It's smaller by an inch than I thought it was than the last time I measured it, which was probably a year and a half ago. I don't know why I thought that it wouldn't have changed. I guess because my bust measurement has stayed pretty much the same, I just assumed, but like your body changes constantly and your shit redistributes and whatever. Measure yourself more frequently than you think you need to. Anyway, I did not measure myself before I did this, and when I went to put it on, I had actually, let's back up. I had made the size slightly larger than the pattern. I made the size larger than the one that I was closest to fit in, because I was worried that the hips weren't going to be big enough with the size that I felt closest to. So I made like the largest size in this, but then it didn't fit. I cut the elastic smaller in the hopes that it would, you know, kind of equal out a little bit and kind of, oh yeah, also I have a fuck sizes label in there. I was hoping that would kind of equalize it and let it, you know, kind of even out, but the problem was that it didn't. The problem with that is that it did not actually do that, and also it was bigger than more than an inch. So I had to take it in, and I didn't want to do any more work on it anymore, so I just sewed it in at the two sides. So there's a little bump here. It doesn't bother me. I'm just going to leave it, and I have learned my lesson for my next one. This was my first time working with elastic like this and sewing anything with elastic, and I did not do a perfect job, and that is okay. It's wearable. I still need to do a couple tweaks to it, but it is wearable, and I'm happy with it. I really like the style, so I will be making more of these in different colors in the correct size. I'm going to revisit it maybe like later in the year, because I'm definitely done with this for now. You know what I mean? Like, you finished it and then you're done and you don't want to work on that one for a while. I'm going to do something different and then come back and make a couple of these maybe like later in the summer, so that they're ready for the fall. Make a couple colors that will coordinate. I did post a picture of this on Instagram. If I remember, I will put that up here. My plan to style it is with my little black t-shirts, because I have a lot of little black t-shirts, because I'm a little black t-shirt kind of person. And my intention with making stuff like this is that I'm trying to stop wearing jeans and leggings all the time with my t-shirts and have something a little bit cuter, because I really like skirts. I really like the length that this ended up. It's definitely longer than I typically wear, because I am a very short person. I am 5'1", 5'2" on a good day. So I don't typically go for like things that are labeled as midi or like T-length, because they scare me, because I think they're going to be too long. But this hits me right below the knee, which is probably partially because I have very large hips, so that kind of like slurps the fabric up a little bit. I'm talking very fast. It's because I had Mountain Dew to drink. Anyway, it hits me where I like it. I definitely like the style, but I will revisit this to try to do better. I am still learning how to sew better than I do. Keep in mind that my sewing experience is mostly making non-wearable items or altering wearable items. I haven't actually sewn a lot of garments, so that is a big thing that I am trying to work on this year, is work on my sewing skills. This is my sewing machine. I don't have a super fancy sewing machine. It is a Singer Simple. I got hair in my mouth. It's because the fan's on, because it's getting warm in here. So I have a Singer Simple. My grandma bought it for me when I was in high school, I believe, because I wanted my own sewing machine. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I see a lot of people who are trying to get into sewing who are very concerned with getting these like old machines, and I am just here to tell you, you don't need to have an old fancy machine to sew. You can have the cheap model of the sewing machine. You can have a basic model. It works. I do want to take this in for servicing because I've never serviced this machine. And I found out very recently that there is a sewing machine service center 10 minutes from my house. I didn't know it was there. But I think I'm going to take it there so that I can check on it. It's never had any like tune-ups or anything, and it definitely clicks a lot, and I'm very concerned because it's an inexpensive machine. I'm concerned. I don't want to wear it out too fast. So I think before I start my next project, I'm going to take her down to the service center, get her checked out, make sure everything's okay, oil her up, and get on my way. Okay, so on to works in progress. I only have 2 because, well, 3 if you count the project that I'm picking up again, but I don't count that because I haven't worked on it since last year. But I only have 2 works in progress that I've been working on because I am trying to do more of monogamous crafting. As I talked about last time, I am a product crafter. So I get very discouraged when I don't have finished objects very frequently. So instead of just like starting 8 million things and then getting stressed out and overwhelmed, I'm only keeping a couple things on the needles at a time so that I don't do that. So I have my one long-term project, and I will talk about that first. That is my Northeasterly blanket, of course. You will be hearing about this all year because this is my baby. I started this in 2019. If you are new, I've started this in 2019, and my plan is to finish it before I turn 30 this December. Ta-da! So last month I was just about to finish this stripe, and I'm only partway through this next stripe. I have not been working on this month. As you can see, I finished a lot of other things this month, so haven't been working on this as much. But yeah, I'm taking the little leftover bits. This is how those Frankensocks kits come, on little bobbins, which are great because I can reuse these for embroidery floss for my stitching. And just keep adding them on. So stripe wise, let's see how many stripes I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm working on my 13th stripe, and I need to have 20 to finish this size blanket. I did the like lap blanket, throw blanket kind of size. Yeah, I think I can do it. I just need to focus on working on this more so that it will be good. Oh, baby. Goodness. So that it will be good for December so I can finish it this year. Okay, I'll be right back. This is going to be so fun to edit. Anyway, continuing with my current objects, this is also going to kind of roll into my acquisitions, which I do have a few, but you'll understand in a minute. So to start this story, I was recently going through all the patterns that I had saved from in here. They were patterns that I've saved over the years, and I started knitting in 3rd grade, and I'm almost 30 now, so that gives you kind of a perspective of how long I've saved some of this stuff. So I was going through that box because obviously my tastes have somewhat changed over those years, and so has my size. So I went through to see like what was in there. I cleaned out stuff that I was like, there's no way that I'm ever gonna make this. I'm not interested in this anymore. There's no reason for me to clean, or no reason for me to hold on to this anymore. And I happened to find this, which was from Interweave 2011. Now, 2011 is the year I graduated. So this would have been right after I graduated, right before I went to college. I saved this. And it's kind of funny because my style has kind of gone full circle, where I was trying to dress more like an adult for a while, and then I kind of gave up, but now I've come back somewhat to how I dressed when I was like 15 through 18, just kind of all merged together, if that makes sense. Like, I was a little emo kid for a while, and then I was like kind of like hippie boho, and just that kind of like all librarian it's all in one, and I just think that's funny. I've come full circle. So this pattern that I saved in 2011 is still something that I would want to knit. So here is the vest. It's called the Nantucket vest by Shelley Gerber. And I saw this and I was like, oh, this is cute. I could see myself making this down the line. So I tucked it back into my little shoebox of ripped out patterns from magazines along the years and kind of set it to the back of my mind. So I took a mental health day on February 9th. Take mental health days. Use your days off. Don't save them. Just take them off when you need them. I needed a mental health day. I took off on the 9th and went on a frolic through some of my favorite stores. And one of them is Lancaster Creative Reuse, which is a like craft reselling type store. So basically people donate these like new or lightly used craft supplies and you can buy them pretty cheap. And as I was walking through there, I had no intention of buying yarn. I mean, I was hoping to maybe find like some sewing supplies. I found a couple things, but they had a nice little yarn section. And it just so happened, this was like fate, that they had a ton of these Elsebeth Lavold silky tweed. So here's the tag. I have all of the silky tweed balled up already. So it's like this tan-ish color, but it's like tweed, so it has like little flecks of blue and like tan in it. I like it a lot. But there wasn't quite, immediately I saw it and I was like, it's perfect for this. It's absolutely perfect for this. But then there wasn't quite enough to do the whole thing in that. So I got these, which are the silky wool. And they had them in these like really pretty springtime colors. So I thought at the end there, around the edge of the vest, I'll do this like kind of like springtime gradient. So there's two different colors of green and then this like light pink color. I think it will be very cute. So I've been working on that. You basically knit this like back panel. So this is the back panel of it. And then you knit a donut that you then sew to the top and bottom of this. And that makes your vest. And so I did that already. And I started working on the donut, as I'm calling it. So far, just a ton of seed stitch, but then you get into like a feather and fan lace pattern. I really like the structure, and I'm very much looking forward to, this is 342 stitches, something like that, which is making me glad to have the interchangeable circular needles. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and I kind of feel like I might try to like make my own version of it then, because I wish the back panel had a little bit more oomph to it. So now that I know the basic structure, I think I might be able to like reverse engineer it into something else and make like a black one, which would be cute when I'm ready to buy yarn again, because I'm not buying any more. But this was just too perfect. And each of those balls, like each of these, I got 12 of them. They were $1 each. So this vest is going to be $12 total. That's what I'm talking about. Reuse stores are great. You get good deals like this. And the only thing that was wrong is some of these have like a little bit of staining or a little bit of like sun bleaching on them, but like I don't freaking care. It's like linen and cotton. Good deal, $12. So that's a place I like to go every once in a while when I want to get something for a project, but I don't have a lot of like specific needs because I might be able to find something that would work for it, or maybe find something for a different project I wasn't even looking for. So while I was there, I found a couple other beautiful yarn deals. So the first one that I got, part of my yarn purchasing rules that I made for myself is I'm not going to really buy a whole lot of yarn, but when I do, I want to buy yarn that is, I like already know what I can do with it, or it has to be like, which one of these is like, you know. So yeah, I got this Malabrigo Rios in the color Solace. So it's just these really pretty like blue-green kind of colors. This is not a color that I have a lot of in my yarn stash, and it's just a good worsted weight, solid yarn. I feel like while I might not end up wearing this, this is perfect to make like a hat for someone for a gift. So I for sure will probably use this within the next year. And I just love Malabrigo so much. It's so pretty. And then my big find of the day So I found La Bien Aimee yarn for $17. So this is a merino super sock, 75 merino, 25 nylon, and the color is Madeline. Look how pretty that color is. $17. That's such a good deal. Yeah, I couldn't pass this up. I've never purchased any La Bien Aimee, but now I have some and I got it with a good deal. So you can find little treasures at these like secondhand craft shops, and that I couldn't pass up. These will make a beautiful pair of socks. I can't wait to figure out what I'm gonna do with them. And then my last yarny acquisition, I've got some fiber in a D-stash, but I'll show you that some other time. I recently reorganized my fiber. I don't want to touch it. So my last thing is another Frankensocks kit. So as I was working on that, I got this. This I ordered last year, so I don't know if this even counts as a this year acquisition because I ordered it last September, I want to say, and I just got it. It is the In the Name of the Moon Frankensocks kit, so it's based off Sailor Moon. So it came with a 20 gram mini in this really beautiful, this is like my favorite shade of purple. It's this like dusty lavender kind of thing. It's not focusing. So pretty. And then what you get in these Frankensocks kits are just these little minis on bobbins. So there's just like so many, and they're these beautiful colors. There's no good way of showing these. I don't think I'm gonna wait very long to make these socks though. But like, look at all these fun colors. Use this one. There's lots of like fun speckles. It's just a magical girl dream. It even came with like an extra one with little stitch markers on it. Yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna take very long to make these, and I was debating because I really liked doing the that Pip and Pin pattern, the Sprocket Socks, for my last ones that I just finished. But not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, I used a Frankensocks kit for my Christmas socks. And I did the Pixel Rise sock pattern, and I think I might go back to that. Unless I can find, if anyone has any other like scrappy socks patterns that they really like, let me know. But otherwise I might do that Pixel Rise sock pattern again, because that looked really cool, and I think it's going to look really cool with these colors. So that's my acquisitions. Not buying yarn, but I bought some yarn. So my other whip that I'm like pulling out as I'm trying to finish things, I'm gonna bring out my National Parks cross stitch that I was working on. This is from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Yeah, I finished 2 of them, and then I put this aside because I was working on other cross stitch and other stitchy things. But I'm ready to pull this back out and work on it. And I missed my little scroll. So yeah, I'm gonna pick that one up next. So beautiful. Anyway. National Parks. That's gonna be my next cross-stitch endeavor. So I have my other project here that I'm planning on doing for the month, because I kind of have these like goals for each month of like trying to do a little bit of each of my crafts. So yeah, gonna work on that for my cross-stitch. For my knitting sock pattern, or sock knitting for the month, I'm gonna work on these. This is the dumpster fire yarn that I got from Sultan last year. No, 2020. This was the 2020 colorway. I had started knitting a sock pattern with this last year while I was at the Renaissance Fair, and I just didn't like how they were turning out, and my tension has gotten so weird as I've become less stressed and then more stressed and then less stressed. So I'm just starting from scratch on these. It is a self-striping yarn, and it's pretty fire, you know? So I have that guy. It came with a matching stitch marker too, which is super fun. Look at that guy. It's a little fire. So this is going to be my sock for the month because I really love this yarn and I want to make these socks. For my spinning project for the month, I just picked green because it's going to be March, so you know, green. So I have this, which I believe I got from It might be Claude. I think maybe this is from Claude. But there's a bat and a little, what is this called? Something, a little swirl and a little bat of this greeny kind of fiber. I'm pretty sure it's from Claude. And then this is from Crafticorn. Rest in peace. I loved Crafticorn. I bought this, I think when they were cleaning out their stuff when they decided to close. But it's this like green, yellowy, neon green mess. I love it. So this will be fun to spin, and it's definitely superwash merino, so it'll be super smooth to spin. And then for my, I keep getting hair in my mouth, it's driving me crazy. Or fiber. It might be fiber in my mouth. For my sewing project for the month, I'm going to be sewing the vest, Forager vest by So Liberated. I bought this fabric and I don't know how it's going to go, so I might be buying fabric to make a better version of it. This might be a practice. I bought this like kind of like gauzy fabric, but I feel like it might be a little bit too light. So I might buy like a linen. But Forager vest, really nice. This is also interesting because it's like got this like sage green on the inside. I was like, can I make it double-sided? I don't know. I haven't looked at the pattern. Yeah, I thought this was interesting, so I bought this, but I don't know if it's going to be perfect for that vest or not. It might be too light, but I'm going to probably just do it anyway because I got it on sale. So anyway, Forager vest has big pockets, and as we're going into the spring, I need vests and things with pockets. I've been sewing everything with pockets because I always have seeds in my pockets and need things that are super utilitarian so that I can carry all my goodies around. I have a cool purse, so I have an Ida bag, so I can like put my pins in the front of it, but I don't like carrying purses around anymore, and I honestly think I need another wallet that's like a little more low profile, because I like to just keep everything in my pockets and not have to carry a purse around. I don't know. I've never been a super big purse person. Anyway. And then I also, especially since the Forager vest is kind of a less involved sewing project, I decided I wanted to pull out a quilting project too, and this is kind of a small one. So I got this kit from Fabric Center, which is a local quilt shop in Carlisle. And it's a half square star kit, and it comes with like all the colors and then the backing fabric for it. And it's just like a cool technique that I want to try because I'm trying to learn quilting more. I don't think I'm going to finish this quilt, or if I do, I'll do it like super simply, because in my desk area I have this like little short wall, since there's this big window, because my desk area is literally right there. I have this big window, but then there's like this little wall underneath it, and the section next to my desk kind of has like pen marks and stuff, and I have to stare at it all day, and I kind of hate it. So I think this will be perfect to just kind of be like a little backdrop over there so that I can kind of hide the ugly scuffed up wall. A lot of things have like come and gone from this area of our apartment, and they've left their marks. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna make this cute little rainbow star quilt to put there and hide my ugly wall. Anyway, I think that's all of my crafting nonsense for this month. I'm really liking these monthly makes because I feel like I actually have a decent amount to talk about, and it's not just me like scrambling to finish like 2 things to do more frequent vlogs. It's nice. It's nice. So, alright, well, it's a beautiful day. My dad is supposed to come visit me soon and bring me some flowers, some pansies to put out on my balcony in my little planters, and I might go read a book and then maybe knit and watch some dumb TV, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. It doesn't matter, it's Saturday. Alright, well, thank you guys. Hope you guys had a good month, and I wish you all the best for March as it starts getting warmer and we get to start going outside more and seeing the sun. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye. And if you want to, like, if you haven't already, like, maybe use a good, like,